Hello, and welcome to Rethinking Our History, where we seek to shed a light on events that have been forgotten and covered up, and to make us all question how much do we really know about our history? I'm Felicia.
And I'm Ian, and we are here to reveal all the sordid details of history that have been swept under the rug. Get ready to get angry, be curious, and maybe have a laugh or two as we rethink our history.
Hello, friends.
Hey guys.
Thanks for joining us for another episode, number 57.
57, huh?
We're going to hop in the way back machine today,
The Wayback Machine.
go back to the 18th and 19th century
Oh boy.
to look at a phenomenon that seems a little crazy today.
Zoinks.
But for the folks of the time, this was a very real fear. I'm talking about the New England vampire panic.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, that's why I was like, it kind of feels like a paranormal episode.
New England
Vampire
vampire
panic, panic, panic.
panic.
So, this particular fear comes from tuberculosis,
Oh.
known as consumption at
Yeah.
the time. This disease acts as if something or someone is literally draining the life out of the infected person or consuming them.
Mm.
But before science had found out the reason for this disease, people had to come up with some reason for these things, and it was often religious or supernatural. With tuberculosis, it is very contagious. When one family member would get sick, it tended to spread throughout the rest of the family.
Oh, that sucks. I didn't know tuberculosis was contagious.
hmm That's why a lot of times, like, if you go to fly or something, they'll ask you, like, have you tested positive for tuberculosis recently? Because if you have, you ain't getting on this motherfucking plane.
Right.
So you have one person died of this, and then other members of their family would get sick and start to wither away, leading people to believe that the recently deceased person has come back to drain the very life from their family members.
Hmm.
So what do you do when you believe the dead are coming back to torture the living?
Make movies about it?
I mean, what does Sam and Dean do?
uh, Salt it and burn it?
You dig them up and perform rituals to make sure they stay dead.
Right.
First, the body would be examined, and if they were found to be relatively flesh and or with blood in their organs, they would then be deemed to be a vampire. Also, these people really didn't take into account like the time of year and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's that. Some of the ways people would deal with this was to literally just turn the dead body over. Sometimes they would even burn the organs that contained the blood and then rebury the body. Sometimes they would even decapitate the body just to make sure.
So that's where the or decapitating a vampire came from.
Maybe. 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 The infected family members would sometimes often then inhale the smoke or consume the organs in other ways
Oh no.
to fight off the infection.
That's great.
Uh, One of the first known cases of this panic comes from Massachusetts and involves Reverend Justice Forward and his family. By July of 1788, they had lost three daughters to consumption, one of which was their daughter Martha, who was married to Captain Nathan Dwight, one of the first people to settle in Belchertown.
I was like, why does that sound familiar?
I feel like we've covered him on something. We've talked about him before on something.
Sure.
Martha died in 1782 at the age of 23, and by 1788, two other daughters had fallen ill. One daughter, Mercy, had even begun hemorrhaging, so Justice went about asking people what they would think about opening up the grave to see if there were any signs of vampirism. From a letter he wrote, from a letter he later wrote, quote, "This morning, July 21st, opened the grave of my daughter, Martha, who had died, the last of my three daughters, almost 6 years ago. On opening the body, the lungs were not dissolved, but has blood in them, though not fresh, but clotted. The lungs did not appear as we would suppose they would in a body just dead, but far nearer a state of soundness that could be expected. The liver, I am told, was as sound as the lungs. We put the lungs and liver in a separate box and buried it in the same grave, 10 inches or a foot above the coffin." End quote. Mercy would still die in January of 1989, though their other children all survived the sickness. Then we go over. There's a lot, and this is why this is the New England vampire panic, because
Mm-hmm.
this is all up there. Then we head over to Griswold, Connecticut, where the Ray family was plagued by the disease between 1845 and 1858. The first death came when 24-year-old Lemuel Ray died in 1845. Then, in 1851, the father Henry B. Ray died, followed 2 years later by his other son Elijah Ray in 1853. Just 1 year later, in 1854, Henry Ray, the eldest son and brother, also died of the disease. After this last death, the bodies of the dead family members were dug up and burned to protect the rest of the family.
Hmm.
More bodies would be discovered in 1990 when a group of children were playing near a hillside gravel mine in Hopeville and found a skull. Just
All
imagine
right.
Patty coming home, 1990s. Actually, this could have been us.
Could have been.
Running around being little heathens. Come home with a skull. Could you imagine your mom's face if you'd came home with a skull?
I mean, I came home with a used syringe one time.
And she was like, "Jesus Christ, where the
They,
fuck did you get that?"
they were like, "What the fuck? Show me where you found that."
Yeah, that's crazy.
Found it in a river. So
Jesus.
yeah,
That's why we don't go fishing in our rivers, folks.
humans.
At first, law enforcement were worried they were the graves of victims of a local serial killer, but after more thorough examination, they found they were over 100 years old. This would turn out to be the graves of the Walton and Barber families who also died of the disease. There were 20 graves in total, which were all seemingly normal until they got to number 4. Quote, and one of the guys that was there researching, his name is Bellantoni? Bellantoni.
Bell and Tony.
When Bellantoni lifted the first of the large flat rocks that formed the roof, he uncovered the remains of a red painted coffin and a pair of skeletal feet. They lay, he remembers, in perfect anatomical position. But when he raised the next stone, Bellantoni saw that the rest of the individual had been completely rearranged. The skeleton had been beheaded, skull and thigh bones rested atop the ribs and vertebrae. It looked like a skull and crossbones motif, a Jolly Roger, end quote.
All right.
So, yeah, they like chop your arms or your legs off and then cross them over your chest and put your head on it.
That's kind of cool.
Come back now, motherfucker. The body was taken to the National Museum of Health and Medicine in D.C., where more tests were run. They would show that the beheading, among other injuries like broken ribs, had happened 5 years after death.
Hmm.
So they went to fucking town on this poor corpse.
Yeah.
One of the most famous cases of the vampire panic, takes its name from another girl named Mercy, and this is the Mercy Brown vampire panic in Rhode Island in January of 1892. Mercy Brown. This began when the family of George Thomas and Mary Brown got hit with several cases of tuberculosis. Mary was the first to die on December 8th, 1883, followed on June 6th by their eldest daughter, Mary Olive, at age 20. In 1891, Mercy Lena Brown and her brother Edwin both got sick with the disease. This led to many friends and neighbors wondering if there was a supernatural cause for Edwin's sickness, such as one of the dead family members being a vampire. George was persuaded to exhume the bodies of his family members. When Mary Eliza and Mary Olive were exhumed, their bodies showed normal signs of decomposition. However, when Mercy's coffin was opened, she showed little signs of decomposition and still had blood in her heart. Now, today we understand that this was due to the fact that she had been buried in the winter and it was just March when they dug her up. So that cold weather,
Sure.
so the cold weather had worked to preserve the body for 2 months. She had been in the ground versus the years the other two women had been there.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. The lore of the time led them to burning her heart and liver, then mixing the ashes with water and having Edwin drink the concoction
Oh boy.
to cure his illness and protect him from the influences of the undead. This cat is moving her head all around my feet and it fucking tickles. The rest of Mercy's body was reburied in the cemetery at the Baptist Church of Exeter. Edwin would die just 2 months later.
Hmm.
Sadly, George, the father, was one of the few who never contracted the disease, and he lived long enough to see a vaccine be developed to help fight tuberculosis.
That's cool.
It is cool, but can you imagine how sad that is after, like, you done dug up your
Your whole
daughter's
family.
body and had her heart and liver burned and your son made your son drink it, and then they're like, oh, hey, guess what, germ theory, here's a shot.
Yeah.
Oops. um Thankfully today we have science, if you choose to believe it. We know much more about diseases and how they spread, but that knowledge has not touched every corner of the earth, so some areas still live based on superstition and not fact. Okay, Bill, what do you think about the New England vampire panic?
Well, I'm sure it like played its part in lots and lots of vampire movies. Like,
Yeah.
uh,
They think there's a girl in. Is it Interview with the Vampire, maybe?
Bram Stoker's. Probably Bram Stoker's, because there's like three women in there.
There's like a young girl.
Lucy.
It's Lucy. They think that Lucy's based off of Mercy Brown.
Yeah, because she had the prominent father figure, and like there was like three suitors, and like one of her suitors kept getting drained from Bram Stoker and was all like weak and pale looking and shit. And like,
I've never seen it.
you've never seen Bram Stoker? Oh my god. Okay, I guess that's what we're watching
Isn't that
tonight.
like an old black and white movie?
Although there is nudity, so I don't think we can watch it with
No.
Patty.
And if it's not,
Patty.
I don't really like old black and white movies.
It's not black and white. It's got
Is it
Keanu
not?
Reeves in it.
Jesus Christ.
It's got Keanu Reeves. What's the other dude? Val Kilmer. It's got who's the vampire?
No, I've
Shit.
definitely never seen that then.
It's
We'll have to wait
amazing.
until a baby free night.
It's a great movie. That's hands down my favorite vampire movie. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I could see a lot of the stuff that happened in New England here in that movie.
It's
So-
not a little weird when like we do these episodes and then we go back and we watch movies or TV shows and we're like, hey, that's not correct. That's not right. Or like we're like, hey, we covered that. I do that a lot with supernatural shows. I'm like, hey, you're right. You're correct. See, they
But
are.
yeah, I
They're
can
very
definitely
good.
see Lucy's character as what's her face? What's she called?
Mercy Brown.
Mercy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's definitely her. Cause like just her picture alone is like, oh, okay, that's where they got her from.
Yeah, she looked real young, and I'm so glad that we don't do that anymore.
Yeah,
It's Sounds like some RFK fucking.
Vaccines, people. Come on
Just
now.
get the damn shot, folks. I'm so tired of these measles
Just
numbers going
read.
up.
Please.
Read, listen.
Read.
It's like
That's all
50%
you
of
gotta
this
do.
country can't read past the fifth grade level,
That's all you
so.
gotta do. And if you don't like reading, watch some YouTube
There's
videos. Jesus
audiobooks.
Christ.
Listen to somebody else tell you. Well, he said YouTube. YouTube
You
it.
can find out fucking anything on YouTube, people.
YouTube it, Bobby. YouTube
Come
it.
on now.
All right,
Come on
guys.
now.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and come back next week because there'll be more vampire stuff.
Cool.
Yay.
Awesome.
All right.
I like vampire history. It's amazing.
All right, guys. We hope you guys have a good week and we'll talk to you guys later.
Be kind to each other.
Love you. Bye.
Love you guys.